Alright, so we're going to start by going here. Here's the address where I have the file saved on Dropbox. I'll post that in the video. So we want to open up our browser. We're going to go to the address. We'll download the file and we'll save it just to my desktop for now, called flytrex.dashware.zip. Okay, once that's saved, we'll grab it here. We'll open this up. And here in the instructions I put Dashware data profile. Please download and zip to the following Dashware folder. C uses your name documents Dashware. I'm using a Windows 7 machine, so I'm just going to go right to computers and documents, and here's my Dashware folder, and this is where we're going to dump it. So what we'll do here is open up the zip. We can grab these 4 folders here, and we'll just dump them right into the Dashware folder. We're going to overwrite everything. Same thing here, copy and replace. Okay, so now when you look at your gauges in here, or data profiles, first you'll see that you do have a Flytrex now, a Flytrex data profile. And if you go to gauges, you'll see some of the gauges I created. For instance, real quick, speed and altitude and distance. So these are all new stuff here. Okay, let's get a data file from our Flytrex, and we'll give that a shot. Okay, what I did here was I have my GoPro file here. I just took a little video just to show an example, and here is my Flytrex file. So the first thing we want to do is visit the Flytrex your mission page, and what we first need to do is upload a mission. And here's my mission file, and we need to do this because this is how we're going to get the CSV file for Dashware. So here you can see my mission. I just made a little X here real quick, nothing fancy, and I'll just write test for video demo. Excuse my typing. Test for video demo, and we're going to publish that. Now here's the video I just put up, test for video demo, or the mission I should say. Now once we have the mission uploaded, you could then come over here to this little arrow next to the comments for that mission, and you could export the mission. Now in order to use Dashware, we want to export that to CSV. So we're going to hit the download CSV file, and here at the bottom, do you want to save it? I'll do a save as, and I'll put that back into my Flytrex folder. Okay, and it'll save it as the default CSV, or just for testing purposes I can go Flytrex test demo CSV. Okay, download completed, and we'll just confirm that it's in the Flytrex folder. So now we have the original Flytrex file that we uploaded, and now here is the data that we need for Dashware. Okay, so Dashware. When we open up Dashware, I think it defaults to it starts with a quick project creator, but we're going to cancel that. We're going to just start from scratch. So if you go to the top and go File and go New Project, you could have project templates that would load your favorite gauges, but just for this purpose, we're going to go None. Okay, so we'll say None, and we'll say OK. Here's your 2 sections where you're going to put your video and your data file. So what we'll do is by clicking on the plus, we'll go to my desktop, we'll go to GoPro, and we'll grab the video that I made. Okay, and here you can see the video. It's just about 2 minutes long. Okay, and it's just me flying around the front yard. Okay, so anyway, now we want to bring the data file in. So we're going to hit the plus, data log file. We're going to go browse. We're going to go back to my desktop, and we're going to go into the Flytrex. Now here is the CSV file that we saved before. When you open this, if you notice now, Flytrex becomes the data profile, the default one, because your download that we did previously, that created the Flytrex file. So now when we click add, and we can confirm that the data is in there. You click on the synchronization tab, and here you'll see a flight path. What I find I need to do is the start finish item here. We want to uncheck the close course, and then you'll see the complete flight we did. Okay, so we have our video open in Dashware and our data. You know, I guess what the first thing we could do is just drop in a gauge, one of the gauges, by going to the gauge toolbox, and there's a lot of gauges here. But let's just grab one of the gauges that I created, and the reason for that is it's just going to help us to determine the correct spacing for synchronization. So here's the gauge. You know, you can make it as big or as small as you like. We'll just keep it in the middle for now. And our main thing we want to do is get the video to sync up with our data. And the easiest way I do that is I look at the pattern of the flight I took, and I'll start dragging the timeline along for the data. And as you can see, there's a little red dot that's moving along, and that's my flight path. So what I try to do is I try to find a spot where there's some distinct definition. So this flight, I mean, I took the flight, so I came out straight, and then I started to make a turn right here. Okay, so let's just leave it there for a second. So here I start my turn. What happens with the video is I could speed up the video by dragging the slider. Okay, and what I'll do is then I'll start playing the video, and my turn should start right around here. Okay, so I'm making the turn, so let me stop it right about there, because that's right where about I made the turn. Now once you think you have your video in the correct spot and your data in the correct spot, what you can do is hit sync with video. And what happens now is when you pull the slider, not only is the video moving, but you can see on the right hand side that the little red icon is moving for my position. And as I pull the slider, you're starting to see the data populate on the video screen. So let me just back up. I want to see the second turn here. So I'll go right before the second turn, and I'll start playing the video, and I'll make sure the turn looked good. Okay, so I was a little fast there. So what I'll do is I'll come back out, and you can see my turn happens right here, right there. So what I'll do is I'll uncheck sync with video, and I'll slide this slider up right to around here, and I'll click it again with sync, and I'll let it play again. And now I went pretty much across the lawn, and my turn I should start making some sort of turn right around here, turn forward, and I should be making another turn here soon. And yeah, okay, so now my video, I know my video and my audio is my data and my video is synced up. Now all you really have to do is start playing with your gauges. Alright, so our video and data is synced up. Now we can just go to the gauge toolbox, and here you know, you just pick basically what you like. You'll see here I have a phantom logo here, so if you click on this, you could just hit this copy gauge to project button, and it'll come over. You know, you could position it wherever you like it. Another thing is if you double click on it real quick, you see this transparency bar. You know, I usually like lower it and get to 6 or 7, and then you could just hit X, and it'll say, do you want to save now? You say yes. Now what happens is you added some transparency to that. Okay, so you could basically see your video through it. Again, you could resize it however big, place it wherever you like it. Okay. We have, let's see here, we have a Flytrex logo. We could pop the Flytrex in. Again, we can make it as big or as small as we like. Again, you can leave it solid white, or again, if you want to double click on it and you want to bring the transparency down to about 6 or 5 or whatever you like. Let's bring this one down a little bit more to like 5. And we'll say yes to save that. And you can see, like if we go through the video, and you can see through it. You can see, let me lower it down here a little bit so you can see through it. Okay, and that's your transparency. So we have a Flytrex. We want to put Flytrex in there. Okay, so another thing we could do. Let's start adding some gauges. Here is a corner gauge that I've created. It's actually called, if you hyper over it, it says corner gauge Flytrex. What I changed on that was, by default, the feet was your feet above sea level, but I changed that to be your actual feet from takeoff. So again, you can make this as big or as small as you like. Okay, and then we can bring this into the corner of the screen, straight against it. And again, as you're sliding, you can see the data changing, and you could see how the data is matching up: 6 miles per hour, 6 miles per hour, 33 feet, 33 feet. And there's some stock gauges like a speedometer that goes up to 50 miles per hour. You could bring that in here, and you can see we're at 6.1 miles per hour. All right, now Dashware does have some gauges, like this is kilometers per hour here. Okay, and the kilometers per hour will work because those fields are tracked. So you can see you have your kilometers per hour there. You can just click on any gauge and hit the delete button, it'll go away. Yeah, there was a few gauges that I made. Feel free to play around with them. Here are the maps. You could bring the map in. Again, all this data will match up to your latitude and longitude. You can make this as big or as small as you want. There's a blue map with a little thicker of a line. Okay, it's a little different icon here in the middle. And again, if you watch this map, as we slide, you'll see the little ball dot moving on the map. Okay. Okay, and here's your GPS latitude and longitude. Okay. Now, if you double click in here, you'll be editing the item, and as you can see, if we click on this field, which is dynamic text for number, you could, if you double click on the dynamic text, text font color is white. If you click there, we can make it red. We can make it green. Okay, if you say okay and okay. Okay, so now the text is green. Okay, I'll show you how to just map up something to a gauge. Let me grab something here. Okay, I'll just grab this gauge just to show you an example. This was a distance gauge that I created, and this was showing the distance from takeoff. Okay, so as I progress through, this would show me how far I am from my takeoff location. Again, if you double click on this, you're going to be in the edit mode. And if you notice, the number 42 here, the dynamic text, it's attached to distance from takeoff position. But let's say we wanted to use this gauge to show how high we are sea level, altitude wise. What we need to do is add that field, which is a positional field, and here's all the different positional things we could grab. This could be a heading, but let's say we want altitude from sea level. When we click add, it adds a second item into the gauge inputs. So when you double click on the 42, right now it's attached to distance from takeoff, but if we select altitude from sea level and hit OK, and then close this out and just say yes to save, that went from 42 being 42 feet from where I took off to now 1,171 feet, which is my altitude above sea level during the flight. So as you slide this across, you'll see that that changes. So you would just go back into here. You could click on the text that said distance, and you could just retype out from sea level, altitude from sea level. We can go into change the font size. Okay, hit OK, hit OK. So now it says altitude from sea level. So now what you want to do is, now you want to position your gauges wherever you like them. You could pop it here. This one you want to put down here. This one maybe you want to put here, a little low, smaller. I'm just trying to show you some examples. And at the bottom there's a bunch of good tape ones. We have a heading. Okay, this is your heading, northwest, east, south. That'll slide across, so maybe you want to put that in the middle. Tape speed by knots, tape speed by kilometers, tape speed miles per hour. So we could bring that in and bring that over to this side. But you get the picture. Now you can start adding the gauges and whatnot. Okay, so now we're ready to create the video. We want to go to projects and your video profiles. You have a bunch of video profiles here. You can select what you like. I always keep it a high def. And the last thing I want to show you real quick is on your video slider, not everything's all synced up, and you can see that from the synchronization. What you could do is, like, if you go to all the way to the front of the video, like here you see me, flipping the Phantom over and placing it in underground. Let's just say you want the video to start here. So we're going to bring this slider over right to here, and this is where the video would start. And the same thing at the end. I usually land it, then I'll pick up the Flytrex and shut the GoPro camera off. And if we don't want to see that, like here, you see, if we don't want to see that, I could back it up to where I land or whatever, and then I could slide that over, so the video will record from start to end here. It'll disregard these little white spots. Okay, so file, create video. We'll call it Flytrex demo. I already have one named on my desktop, so it's going to ask me if I want to overwrite it. I say yes, and there you go. And now it's saying it takes about 12 minutes to render the video. There's only a 2-minute video. I've been here rendering video for about a half an hour, depending on how long your video is. All right, well, I hope this helped out, and thank you.